Graviton Lance got a massive glow up, so today I want to talk about using it on all three characters, a build for each one, because to me, Graviton Lance should start to appear in players' loadouts. It's really good. They increase the PvE damage by 67%, and already this is an exotic, so it gets 40% more damage versus red bars. So PvE damage is unchanged. PvP focus nerfs, they did a reduction in the cosmology damage, and then they completely wiped and removed the aim assist hidden hand from the catalyst. So on the Grav Lance now, of course, cosmology. It's also getting all that buff damage. The catalyst, Vorpal weapon, and turnabout. I've been having a ton of fun with it, so let's talk about building it out a little bit. You can change some things around, but first we have the Devour Voidlock, highlighted by Verity's Brow. Weapon final blows with damage matching your subclass energy grants death throws, stacks at ×5. Death Throws provides grenade damage bonus and grants you grenade energy. When Death Throws is up, you throw a grenade. Nearby allies gain greatly increased grenade regeneration for a short time. All of this with Grav Lance is so good. So in a group, it's doing so much more. In a group of miners one-shot, immediately will throw it to Death Throws ×5. So we start putting some synergy together. Of course, some of these things can be changed around. On the artifact, we have Unto the Breach. Defeating a Void debuff target creates a Void Breach. While you're on your Void subclass, Protective Breach, picking up that breach, gives you an overshield or refreshes an existing one. Supernova, picking up that breach. Your next source of Void damage creates a large weakening pulse. And also if you want squad goals. If you have Devour and do a finisher, nearby allies are going to get Devour. So we have big grenade damage. We have stuff that weakens, and we need stuff that weakens because it goes into the artifact mods with the breach. For the aspects, Feed the Void for Devour, Chaos Accelerant for the Vortex. At first, I had Expulsion, but I changed it. So Expulsion, Void ability final blows cause targets to explode. Change that to Instability. Defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds to your Void weapons. Remnants, so the Vortex lingers longer. Undermining, that Vortex will weaken. Starvation, picking up a Breach or Orb of Power grants Devour. So we have Weaken covered with the artifact stuff. We have Devour covered. On the helmet, I did double Void Siphon, Ashes to Asset, so those grenade kills grant super energy. Firepower, grenade final blows grant orbs of power. Fastball, because hey, you never know when you just need to yeet one of these things. Also gets it out pretty quick. Bolstering detonation, so causing damage with your grenade will give you some class ability energy. Double Void Reserves, and Endurance, so while I am charged, I get a buff to my resilience. I have triple Void Surge on, time dilation, so the charges last longer, and then Restoration. While I am charged, gain bonus recovery. So my stat splits are 75, 71, 70 on recovery, resilience, discipline. With the fonts, I'm looking pretty good with recovery and resilience. Now discipline, let's remember, when you have Devour up, you get massive chunks of grenade energy back. So I'm pairing this with an auto-loading explosive light Regnant. Also why I changed it to where I can have volatile rounds. When you put all of this together, you're gonna have Devour up, weakening with your grenade. We have all the artifact stuff with weakening, getting breaches, getting energy from that, getting overshields. The huge vortex from the ×5 death throw is weakening them. You're doing more damage. You also have the Slova to throw, triple Void Surge for Grav Lance and Regnant. Instead of the Void GL, you can put in Retrofit, maybe the Warlock Sword Death's Razor with destabilizing rounds. We have the old school Falling Guillotine. Lots of different things you can do, but Grav Lance is making it so easy to get death throw stacks, getting those grenades out, following up with your heavy. And of course, again, you should make it your own. You could try Nezrak Scent. Grav Lance is going to get a lot of collaterals. Remember, it has built-in turnabout as well. So if that pops a shield, you're going to be getting an overshield. With Nezrak Scent, you're going to get an increased energy recharge rate. It's really, really good on Void subs now. I'm very impressed, and I'm actually going to be running it a lot as I go forward. As for Titan, again, this video is just kind of showcasing what you can do with some of the subs, some of the exotics. You don't have to use a Void sub with it, but it's obviously the best. And with Titan, I paired it with something rarely used, but as a solo player, I really like it. Precious Scars. Final blows of the weapon matching the subclass energy creates a burst of healing around you. You heal yourself and your allies. With revives, you get the super overshield for you and your team. But with Graviton, those Void finals are giving health back, and Cosmology can go on for so long, it can actually reproc the perk and heal you again 2 to 3 seconds later. And on Titan, we have Controlled Demolition, we have Bastion, Overshields and health. And why I like it, have always liked it, and now even more with Grav Lance, it's just a very, very safe kit. And yeah, this is in Solstice, but I've taken Precious Scars into GMs. It does great. On the sub, we got the Shield Throw to make them volatile. When those volatile rounds get tags, it's more health. Kind of go with the theme of Precious Scars. I'm using the same artifact mods we talked about previously. I did switch up the fragments a little bit. I have on Persistence. I feel that it's needed. Devour and Overshields last longer. Undermining to weaken, instability, defeat with that grenade, get volatile rounds, starvation, picking up a breach or an orb grants devour. So it's same but different. My stat splits are 9-7-6. Devour is helping with the grenade to come back. I feel that persistence is needed when not on a Warlock using Devour, and you have this loop of getting volatile rounds, picking up breaches, getting Devour, and you would think that's kind of counterintuitive, but it's not. Precious Scars is getting you health when you don't have Devour, and of course when you do, you're more so working on your grenade at that point. Double Void Siphon. I used Wisdom for my intellect, it's low. That way I can get the bubble a little bit quicker. Grenade kickstarts again, because a Devour lock can just get right to that grenade. This way when you throw it, you get a little bit of help. Heavy-handed, I'm going to be punching things. Charged up for more armor stacks. That way when I do get Devour or an Overshield, I can make sure when those items come up, I'm going to have enough charge for my Surge and all that, rounding it out with Time Dilation and Reaper. But again, I do think the Precious Scars is a good pick. I'm really liking it with Graviton Lance. Like I said, even in GMs, getting kills next to teammates, healing them when they're down, you have the big revive. It is not flashy, but with what it does very well. I've always loved this exotic. When you add in Graviton Lance to all this, again, you're healing with Cosmology, with Devour. It's all tied to Controlled Demo, volatile rounds. It's a lot of fun. And there's things you could try, like it's now nerfed, Heart of Inmost Light. That's going to work well with it. Again, getting that grenade going for the breaches on the artifact. There's a ton you can do. And I noticed, because it's so cheap in the artifact, I'm running Triple Void Surge. That's for my GL, my heavy weapon. But it also applies to Graviton Lance, which is also applying to Cosmology. And some of those hits are getting 20,000. Enough to where the Catalyst starts coming into play a little bit. Like if it hits a Major or Ultra that has a shield, Vorpal Weapon's doing enough to break the shield to get Turnabout. It's flowing really, really good. And then with Hunter, easy choice, your Falcon. Nothing wrong with that. Pretty much the same mods. This time you're just dodging, Stylus Executioner, getting volatile rounds, letting Graviton Lance put in all the work. And for a while now, I've always felt as far as primary weapons, like if you're not using an exotic, you're almost doing it wrong. Almost. We have utility with Volt Shot, Incandescent. Of course, that's going to be great. But when you see that big 40% to exotics on red bars, you're not bringing in Grav Lance. You're not bringing in Trinity Ghoul for ultras and bosses. You're just not. You're using these exotics with that extra damage to clear things out. And that's exactly what Grav Lance is doing exceptionally well. I feel like Graviton Lance is going to stick. I really do, as an energy-specific clear, like Trinity Ghoul, like Sunshot, things like that. And the 67% came out of nowhere. They didn't have to do that. But with that 90 range, 100 stability catalyst, and I didn't even mention Black Hole, the intrinsic, that second shot doesn't have any fall off. So even if you're far away, it's still getting in some good shots. But yes, absolutely go try it. Put it together on a Void sub, get some synergy going. I think you're really going to like it. If you're new here, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support. Let's talk about Graviton Lance down below. I didn't use it in PvP, but I would assume that all the nerfs are there. Not as sticky because Hidden Hand's gone. Cosmology, not getting those collaterals as much. Hopefully it is toned down. If you've played with it, let us know how it is there. Thank you for watching, and until the next one, I'm CoolGuy.